Does your makeup not last? It doesn't come out flawless and smooth like you want. Three things could be the problem: your application, your face spray, or the product. Number one, when you're cleaning the face, make sure you properly clean. Get a micellar water, even if you can't exfoliate. Make sure you properly clean the skin so there are no dirt on it. The next is serum. Massage the serum thoroughly across the face, then allow it to get absorbed into the skin for about 3 to 4 minutes. Then use an moisturizer. When you use moisturizer, also properly allow it to sit into the skin. So when you use anything, allow it to get absorbed into the skin. Then the next you need is a good primer. I'm using Rimmel Stalemate. That's what I'm using. It's a very good primer. So get a very good primer and allow the skin to absorb. Like, you don't just prime and then immediately go in with foundation. No, get a mini fan and allow it to like sit into the skin for about 3 to 4 minutes. Don't rush with your face prep. Like, it's very important, trust me, it's very important. Then when you are applying your foundation for a reason, they call it foundation for a reason, because that is the beginning of makeup. Like, foundation for a reason. Make sure that you gently tap into the skin. Don't rush it. Gently tap into the skin until you are satisfied with the result. Then I'm using this CPD cream blush. It's a very good cream blush, trust me. It's a very good cream blush. I got it recently. I've never bought it before. I got it recently, and I personally, I love the red, the burnt orange, the orange and the cream color from it. No, there are several color, but those one I prefer it. Then I'm just tapping whenever I'm doing makeup. I tap everything into the skin. Like, I'm not rubbing. I'm not rubbing anything. Even when I'm applying powder, I tap. I don't rub. I'm not rubbing anything. And then I don't want to take the risk of shifting my makeup, anything. So I'm just tapping, allowing it to get into the skin. I tap until I'm satisfied. The concealer I use is Avo concealer, and it's good concealer. It have a very good coverage. Minute amount is enough to get the proper concealing, especially under the eye. When you're using concealer, don't use too much of concealer, because if you use too much of concealer, number one, you will now be struggling to blend it, because if you don't blend it properly, it will be attracting light. You realize when you take picture, that particular place you conceal too much, it will now be very shiny and bright. No, it's not cool. So make sure you conceal just properly. Don't use too much concealer, and don't use concealer that is like way too lighter, like something like 3 shades, 4 shades lighter than your skin color. The least you should use like a shade lighter than your normal skin color when you are concealing. That's what I do. I only use like a shade lighter than my skin color when I'm concealing. I don't use too much, or 2 shade lighter than the skin color. But then when you use like 3 shade lighter, to give you issue. Then the nose contour. When you are using contour, you are not drawing line. Some people try to like make like a line on the nose, and it doesn't come out really well. Trust me, it doesn't come out really well. Then the next thing I want to do is, when I'm going in with my setting powder, I make sure to blend the under eye to avoid any creasing. Those line under the eyes is called crease line. Your concealer will crease, number one, if it's too much. Number two, if it's not properly blend. If you don't blend it properly, it will not give you the flawless application that you want. Then I'm using my Rosam powder. So I'll apply the powder all over the faces, for the foundation coverage, to remove oils and all that. So when I'm done with the powder, the next thing I will do is to bake the face. I like baking the face for several reasons. Because number one, if I should use setting powder to bake, whenever I'm doing my eyeshadow and some of it fall off, it will be easy for me to like dust it off, whether it is glitters or the pigment. It will be easy for me to dust off. And some of when you are like making the face or contouring the nose, you draw a line. You're not supposed to like draw a line. That is not how it is done. So constant by you constantly practicing, you know how to properly contour the nose. It doesn't matter whether you get a client or anything. I will not even advise you to practice anything on your client's face, except that it's not a paid job. The next thing I'll be doing is that my eyebrows. I don't carve my brows. I feel like it's not much there, so there's nothing for me to carve. So you can see. Then I use Tame It by Viange to tame the brow. Trust me, it's a very good eyebrow tamer. It's not oily, and it's very very good. Quite affordable too. Very affordable. I don't want my brow to be too thick, and I don't want to be too light. But I'm not like shading and shading and shading and shading. I'm using David's pencil to draw it. So like I said earlier, I will still like emphasize on it. Whatever you are using, whether you spray your face, allow it to dry. You use any face prep item like moisturizer, allow it to sit into the skin. When you are massaging it, have a like a mini fan with you to allow it to get absorbed into the skin faster if you are rushing. And when I'm rushing to do makeup, sometimes we have clients like that they are rushing you, they have short time, this and that, and they need to meet up with some appointment like that. So when I'm in rush like that, some time customer will come and like rushing you like that, they are late for this and that. I try to minimize whatever I'm using. Like if I feel like it is not necessarily for me to use moisturizer, I may just skip that part and use face serum. Okay, if you think that you can skip exfoliating the skin and just use your micellar water to properly cleanse the face, you can do that as well, just to minimize the time and also to get the makeup done in time and as not to waste customers time when things are like that. Sometimes it's always like that. I minimize whatever I'm using on the face to prep the face. Like prepping the face with a lot of item will not even guarantee you a very good lasting makeup if you don't know the tips and tricks to achieve those long lasting makeup. Because when I learned makeup, the only thing we use back then after cleansing the face, what we use back then is pond primer. And trust me, customer will go to work, they will go to a party and come back at night and still send us pictures of their makeup still intact. So this is for me to tell you that I'm buying expensive face prep kit will not guarantee you a long lasting. I'm not telling you not to buy. Of course I do buy. Myself, I do buy. I always like to prep the face. Like it will even prevent customer from coming to say, oh, I think something is wrong with your product, it's reacting to my face, something like that. It's prevent things like that. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm not telling you not to buy prep face prepping materials. Buy them, get your items or get your kits, make sure you have them there, but make sure you put it to a good use, properly make use of them. Don't just like have them and you don't know how to use them. It is different from having them and knowing how to properly use them. Yeah, so I'm done with my eyeshadow. You can see I just wanted something that is not like usual. Whenever I'm doing my makeup, mostly I don't use pigmented eyeshadow. I don't even use pigment or glitters, but I want something different. In my next video I'm going to um make a tutorial on how I did my lip, the product I use, and look at it. See the outcome. Is smooth and like. So if this video is useful or helpful to you,